Okay, so as you can see, I got the new carburetor on. Well, we got the new carburetor on. My buddy came over with some tools and shit, and he helped me out with getting this thing on, so I didn't have to use all the massive, ridiculous tools that I got. Anyway, we got it off and everything. We got the new one on. It's tuned right, So far, I got an extra thing of jets, but from what I can tell, you're really not even going to need those extra thing of jets. And if you do decide to rejet it, you're going to have to take this whole thing apart and fuck with it each time you want to run a jet on it. And I just don't feel like fucking with that. One of the guys on YouTube in the comments told me that he didn't even have to jet his. He just threw his on with his big bore kit. He's making 50 miles an hour, so I'm just going to go with that. Anyway, the old one's right there. Yeah, a big part of my last video, the rollers that I had, I had to put the stock rollers back in because this thing wouldn't go up 7K anymore. It wouldn't go past 7K. It would only go up to 6K. And when you did full throttle, it would cut out really fucking bad. It would not go full throttle, and you would just have to putt along. It wouldn't even go 25 miles an hour. It was terrible. I don't know what's up with that variator kit or the rollers or what, but the variator kit fucking sucked, so I had to put the stock one back in there to get it to run right. But anyway, the last video is how you do put a variator kit in there, so that's still accurate. But the variator kit I got, I guess I have to get the big bore kit in first for it to work right. But I'm pretty sure the stock rollers in this are actually lighter than the 6.5 gram rollers that came with it, because they were definitely, the 6.5 gram rollers were actually really they were pretty heavier than the stock ones. So I just threw the stock ones back in there, and then I could get up past 7K. So that makes me happy. Anyway, I'm going to give you the rundown of this, just like I did the variator kit. No, the fucking fender eliminator kit. What am I talking about? Variator kit. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to give you the rundown of it because I already got it, kind of a partner thing, but I'm just going to tell you what to do. Anyway, so with this, all right, you're going to want to take the plastics off, all right, because the plug-in to the electric choke comes into this boot, which is right behind your plastics. It's zip tied right here, or it might be down here. Either way, it's right here. All right, so you're going to take these plastics off to unplug that. All right, so then what you're going to want to do is you're going to come over here and you're going to want to unscrew the bracket that holds the air intake hose or whatever, or not the air intake hose, the airbox hose that goes into the carburetor, that goes into the airbox. You're going to unscrew that and get that, unscrew this, and then yank that off, bring it down, take it out. Then what you're going to want to do is unscrew this. You don't even have to take off the elbow unless you really want to. I have a new elbow for it, but it was kind of pointless to do it because this elbow's, it's good enough, so there's no reason to get rid of it. So just unscrew this bracket to the elbow, and then you'll be able to yank this out and bring it out a little bit. Once you do that, you're going to want to take these hoses off, okay? Make sure that you put them to where you can remember where they hook up at, all right? The stock one, okay, there's a drain plug that comes from the bottom of it. There'll be wires around it like this. This is right like this, all right? That'll come down to here, which will go into right here, all right? Which this will be connected to it, all right? That's the drain plug, so it's just in case, to drain it. So you're going to want to take that off. I left mine off because I don't really care to fucking drain it out ever again. I never did to begin with. If it floods out, then just fucking chill till it doesn't. You know what I mean? It's not that big of a deal. But it's hard for this thing to even really flood out anyway. So, yeah, take those hoses off. All right, then it should just come right out. Okay, and then to get it back in, you just reverse that. Except for to get this air filter on, you can either put it on before or after you put the carburetor on. We put it in with it already on, I think. I don't know, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure we put it on with it already on. But either way, you know, I thought it really wasn't going to fit, but it actually fit perfectly. Like it's barely just right there from the frame. So it's actually not bad. But yeah, you put this back in, reverse that, you know, screw this, blah, blah, blah. Then you're going to want to, oh shit, and I forgot to tell you, the throttle cable. Okay, I forgot all about that shit. Anyway, the throttle cable, this piece right here. All right, you're going to want to take these off. All right, take this off, pull it back. Take the wire right here. Will actually come out of this little groove thing right here. It'll go around it. Then you could bring it over and then unclip this from that. And then you'll be able to unclip that. And it'll come right out. To get it back in, vice versa. You know what I mean? Just go back in there and then put it back around, clip it in there, and then tighten it up to where the throttle cable, you know, is nice and tight and there's no play in it at all. Like mine has zero play in it, which is good because it did have a fuck ton before it did. But yeah, and if you plan on jetting it, I suggest you really don't, only because it's fine. You know what I mean? I don't see the point in putting different jets in there because it is fine the way it is. A guy messaged me, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but the guy messaged me or commented on one of my posts about it. And he said he's making 50 miles an hour with just his big bore kit, and he didn't have to jet his carburetor. So I'm just going to leave it how it is. It's honestly perfectly fine the way it is. So I don't see the need for it. And each time you put a jet in, you got to take the whole fucking thing out. And then, like, take it apart and all that shit just to rejet it and then put it back in. If it's not right, you got to take it back out. I'm not trying to deal with that. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the rundown of it. You know what I mean? There's no bolts down here, nothing you got to really fuck with. It's all pretty decent. This hose over here, this goes into your airbox. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm probably going to put a plug on it, but then I'm going to put a small hole in the plug so that it isn't sucking in so much air, because the hole that it goes in on the airbox is right here, and it's a little bit smaller, as you can see, than the actual hose. So I'm probably going to put this plug on it and then drill like a small hole in it or something so that it doesn't get too much air, you know what I mean? Like, have a little bit of resistance. It would be nice to get like a little screen or something to put on it just in case, you know, so that, you know, you don't got to deal with debris and shit getting in there if so, because then it's going to suck it all into your fucking valve cover. You really don't want that into your engine. So yeah, that's pretty good. Or like a little filter or something. I kind of thought about getting one of those little filters for valve covers from like AutoZone or some shit just to throw on there, like how they do on cars or whatever, just so it's got a filter to go in there. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. And it was actually a lot easier than what I expected. Now with the big bore kit, that's going to be installed soon. All right, so that shit I can't even do here. Like that has to be done in my buddy's shop. We found out that actually the easiest way to do this big bore kit is to, like, you see these motor mounts down here that go across or whatever onto right here, the motor mount that goes into that. He suggested that the easiest way to do that is to just take this apart right here and, like, hold on, let me check the other side. Yeah, so the easiest way to do that is just take that off, and, like, literally this whole rear end would come out. And the easiest way to do that would just be taking this whole rear end off and to be able to get to all that and then throw it back together. That's what he suggested. I didn't even think of it until just now because, I mean, there's really no way to maneuver with all that framing in there, you know what I mean? Like, good luck. Like, it sucks. So yeah, I think that would be the best bet would be to do that. So I think that's what we're gonna do. But anyway, yeah, this hose that stays open, but you'll see that on there. So, but it's all together. It starts right up. I don't have to rev the piss out of it to get it to start anymore. It doesn't die. It runs absolutely great. It's really, really, really good. Like, the best it's ever been, and I couldn't be any happier about this fucking carburetor. Like, it really helped it a lot. So, but yeah, I'm gonna throw this all together. All right. I hope that I was specific enough on how to do this, because it really isn't much. You pretty much just take that right off. You know what I mean? It's not like a bunch of bolts or anything. It's all just connected to hosing. There's nothing really bolted on. So yeah, you just do that, and then make sure to adjust this throttle cable. Like, you have this up here to tighten it, and then you have the one down there, which is this, to get it right. So yeah, make sure you don't have any play in that motherfucker, because it's gonna suck if you do. Like, it really does suck having play in it. But anyway, I'm gonna get the plastics back on, everything like that. If you saw the video with my rollers on, this last video, you would, like, I'm sure you saw that it fucking ran like shit with those rollers on top of the carburetor acting like shit. So, like I said, the stock rollers are in it still. I'm going to keep them in there until I get the big bore kit on there, because there's actually no reason to fucking change them out, since I feel like they're lighter and I can get over 7K and I can get faster in my accelerations, like, really fucking faster. So, but yeah, I'm going to get this all together, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to start it up, show you how it runs, and then ride it around a little bit, see how you can see how it runs and all that shit, and yeah, and be done with it for the day, I guess. But yeah, I'm gonna do that real quick, and it's all back together, and the throttle cable is just absolutely perfect. Like, it's got a little bit of slack, a little bit, but then that's where you want it, a little bit of slack. It's freaking great. And also, you can adjust that here. I don't know if I said this or not, but you can adjust that here and up here to adjust your throttle cable. Also, this hose over here, this one that goes up to your that hooks into your air box. Okay, so there's actually two hoses that come off of that. I think one goes underneath this. I don't know if it goes into the brakes. I doubt it, but it goes into something right here. So anyway, what I did was I took that plug, and I don't know if you can see that or not. I took that plug and I put a little hole in it right here, which that's the same size hole as in the tubing that it's wide off at. So it's absolutely perfect. I am probably gonna find like a piece of screen or something that I could like take this back off to put the screen on, and then put it back on to where not much debris will get in there. But I mean, it's such small of a hole, and it's like, I don't really think there's gonna be much debris that'll get in there, but it's better safe than sorry. So I'm gonna end up doing that. And then I ended up putting a zip tie, like, not to where it would pinch it, but I put on the fuel line up in here in the frame a little bit up here, so that it was more flush, because the hose was like sticking out to here, and it was just like dangling, and I just couldn't take it. So I just kind of zip tied it a little bit up here, but you don't want to get it too tight where it pinches the hose or anything. You just want to get it enough to where it'll stay there. But yeah, overall looks good. Looks damn good. And it runs, dude, it runs freaking amazing now. Like, my fucking camera would just focus. But yeah, it runs fucking great now. But, I mean, well, I got the carburetor on. Now the next thing to do is the big bore kit. And I'm still waiting on the fucking relay to get here for the damn blinker, turn signal for the turn signals I got both sets in for them, and they're literally like that long, and they're the sequence ones, but they're not the ones you're thinking of. They're way better, and they have running lights on them and shit. But I'm not gonna be plugging up the running lights. I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. But it's gonna be way better on these. And I also got a carbon fiber facing right here for the headlight assembly. This part right here, the gray part. I got a carbon fiber one, and then I got a carbon fiber, this piece right here to the fuel tank, the carbon fiber piece right here, and a carbon fiber piece for the rear, for the taillight. So then it kind of looks like it's got that, you know, that kind of like carbon fiber stripe effect on there. They did have this one right here, but it was out of stock. So I couldn't get that because that would have even been even better to just run it all down like that. But eventually, when I do find one, I'm going to end up replacing this with a carbon fiber one. And they even have the plates that go over this, but they didn't, yeah, they were out of stock on that. So, but soon, and I got that from, the parts were from a 2017 and 2020 Honda Grom, and it will fit on here. Like if you take this off and you look at the gas tank thing, there's a little lip right here, and all the, you know, everywhere that it screws into and shit is the exact same thing. Literally from here up, you can use any of those parts from 2017 to 2020 Honda Grom. But there down, that's where the Honda Grom, that's where the motor's supposed to be at. So they kind of just threw some plastics on there. And if you take those plastics off, you can see you could actually fucking throw a motor on there if you really wanted. But I mean, I don't see why, because then you got to do all the fabricating on all the shit back here, and it's just a huge pain in the ass. You know what I mean? Like, but literally, I think I'm going to get the big bore kit on, like I said before, is taking off this motor mount and the other one on the other side, and this shock right here, and literally this whole rear end right here will come out. So then I'll be able to do it. When I get the time off and go to my buddy's shop when he's free, I'm going to end up doing that. But yeah, this thing starts right up now. There's no bogging down. There's nothing. So, yeah, this thing's it's running perfect now, and I'm so happy about it. And it's even got a deeper tone and shit. But yeah, I mean, I was gonna go on a test run and shit like that, but I gotta wash this fucking truck and shit, so it's gonna take me forever to wash it. So, but if I do get the time, I'll just do a short video or something like that on how it is and how it's running with, I guess you could say, a little review on the carburetor, just a short review on it, how it runs and what I think of it and all that stuff. I'll end up posting that, but this is mainly just getting it in there and shit, and showing you how to do it. I hope that I was specific enough. It really isn't that hard. It really isn't. You know what I mean? I guess I just overthought it, and like I just felt like I was being pressured by the time that I had. So, but yeah, it was like a fucking 15-20 minute job, for real. What took the longest was like zip tying all this shit back up, and all the stuff that needed to be zip tied up and everything. That's what took the longest, because I needed to find the right places to put everything to where it would look right and run right. But so far, yeah, it's way better. But like and subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free, to leave a comment or whatever. And as soon as this fucking turn signal relay comes in, I'm going to throw on the turn signals and shit, and show you the turn signals that I do have. And then when I get the carbon fiber parts for it, I'll do that as well. Which all those parts that I showed you that I was getting, all that together is like $415 or so, I think. But it's in the $400 range for all those parts. And there are some that actually they have carbon fiber pieces for this and this. None down there because the Grom doesn't have that, but they do have a piece for this, because I wanted to replace all of the fucking gray with carbon fiber, but they have this piece right here that goes all the way back, but they don't have this piece. And also they have these pieces too, but they're out of stock. But I'm not trying to replace the blue. I'm trying to replace all the gray. You know what I mean? And, this part of black right here. And I guess I'm just going to paint this black to match the fucking carbon fiber. But anyway, yeah, take a look at it, man. They have so many parts for this shit on eBay, and it's so cheap, and everything works great. So yeah, I hope this helps everybody, and again, like and subscribe.